Hello and welcome to AMZ TV. This is your girl Ameze back on your screen, and if you're listening, it's Ameze Live podcast. I'm so excited about my guest today because she is a powerful woman. Okay, she is a star maker. She is someone that, come on, she doesn't need introduction because her movies, her work speak for her, and people have to listen. I'm talking about Emem Isong, Mrs. Emem Isong Misodi. Let me give you all
Yes.
the full your full names. You're
Mm-hmm.
welcome to my show.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thank you, amazing. I'm really honored. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Again, she's known for movies like there was Jezebel. I like Code of Silence because it treats a topic that I'm really passionate about. And I think more of that topic should be treated. And then there is Reloaded. There is, I mean, there's just so many more. There's Ayamma. There is Special Jollof. Hey, that one, I can't wait to
Yes.
see that one, Special Jollof. So I'm just going to throw this to you. How did you get started? What got you into filmmaking, drama production?
I always say that I think I was destined to be there. I've always liked entertainment industry right from when I was a kid. I was drawn to television a lot, so I used to watch a lot of that, much to the annoyance of my parents, because I was glued to TV and with any given time that I had, any free time I had. So when I was in school, naturally I wanted to do theater arts. From the university, from secondary school, I put in theater arts for my jam, and parents didn't really like that. They wanted me to read law, but I kind of filled that in my jam form, which they when they found out, they were really upset about it. But that's what I've always wanted to do. And I read theater arts, and after that, I did my youth service in Lagos. Thankfully, I got exposed to some of the stuff that was happening in Lagos at the time. But when I finished service, I actually worked in the finance sector. I was working in the bank briefly when the first film that really made waves, Living in Bondage, came out. I was like, okay, this is where I need to be. Shortly after that film came out, I resigned from my job in the bank and just with the flow.
Oh, wow. Like you said, it's a calling. You were meant to. You were meant to, because I can imagine, especially, in that culture where there's certain professions they want you to go into. And for you to have defied that and actually done, gone on the path that you wanted to go, that's impressive. Like I told you guys, she's a powerful woman. She's determined, very, very determined, very determined. So I know that your first movie that you co-produced was Jezebel. And I know your first solo outing was Breaking Point. Breaking Point, because I think I spoke to Victoria Yama. She told me that she was in Breaking Point. I think so. So how was that for you, coming into that industry as a female, behind the camera, not
really
just
tough.
yeah, tell me about it.
It was tough at the beginning, especially as a young girl just struggling to let her voice be heard. Yeah, and at the time when this thing was not so embraced by so many people, you can imagine being female at that. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible time. But I was very determined. Because what I like to do, and I had to push. I got so many no's when I was to make it work. Make it work. I went to so many people, tried to get funding here and there, tried everything possible, but it didn't work. I co-produced Jezebel, actually wrote Jezebel, co-produced it with my late friend then, Francis Ago, who got the funding to produce the movie from the marketers then. Okay. So it was a bit easier because he was in checkmate, so he had to and then he was in that living in bondage. So he had some connect here and there. So he was able to raise money where we shot Jezebel. After Jezebel, I decided to go it alone, and it was tough, but I looked inwards. I borrowed the money from my parents and my friends. And because I was in the banking sector, it was a little bit, I had a little bit of small money at the time. I just put everything together that I had saved from friends and family, and I did the movie. And that's where it started from. And um, I was really, really impressed by what I had done. Oh. I was passionate about it, and I decided to go do a premiere. At the time, that there was nothing like that.
Right.
I used my connections in the bank, and I screened the movie somewhere on the island, and it's not that we made a lot of money, but it made an impression, and that really helped me to sort of break in somehow within the system, and I was able to talk to one or two people and get my film at least marketed in the market that was really tight knit at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And there's a reason why I asked you that question, because of course, when I also being a female, produced Flesh and Blood, I know the challenges I went through, especially it's a male dominated industry. And I believe there are more females coming in now, female players, but it can be daunting, you know, also when you don't have a male face in front of you. Okay, so you're the one going. You're the face of your production outfit. So that's why I was kind of curious. Because I know that yeah, it will be challenging. And just like an interview I did yesterday, for those coming behind us, you cannot accept no. Do not take no for an answer. It doesn't define you. You just got to find a way to get your dreams actualized, So yeah, I'm glad you spoke to that. Now, again, if you're watching, this is AMZ TV, and it's your girl Ameze. So, and I'm speaking to Emem Isong, popularly known as Emem Isong, the powerful lady behind Royal Arts Academy. We're going to go into that. But before we go into that, I know so many people came through you, so many artists, so many celebrities, Nollywood celebrities now. We have Jennifer Okereke, right? Jennifer Okereke. We have Dakore Egbison. Egbison, yes. Was Desmond also through you?
Not really. Some of them had actually done some projects before, but maybe my project, the film that they did, yes, and push them more into the limelight. Yeah. Someone definitely had done two jobs with Checo Benson, so it was, I think, my project will probably have third. But Dakore came through my project, and some other Mike is drawing here. There are quite a number of them. Belinda, the younger, the upcoming ones. Yeah, I would say God used me to give them maybe the opportunity. So quite a number of them have passed through my productions actually.
Yes, I heard that. And that's how I first, because while I was still in Nigeria, I don't think we met, but I got to hear of you and the people that have passed through, and that really, really impressed me, because I like the fact that, I know some people might say, oh, please stop with the female thing. No, but I do. The females are in the minority in that industry. And I think they need to be given a voice, and to have someone like you that encourages and pushes female talent. Kudos to you. I need to acknowledge that. That's a good thing. So, code of silence. Why code of silence? What informed that story?
A friend of mine, Bola, had always wanted to write a story about rape and the culture of silence that we have, especially in Nigeria, Africa generally. I liked, so she talked about that movie, and the script, I liked it. So when I had an opportunity to do something for an NGO, was called Nollywood Workshop in partnership with some NGO in America there, I think it was Bill Gates Foundation. They were doing something on promoting some, trying to they talked about AIDS, sexual rights, health rights on reproductive rights of women and all of that. So I needed a story that I was going to use issues. And I saw that rape was a situation that is being glossed over a lot in Nigeria. And when something like that happens, so many things, you could hear diseases, unwanted pregnancies, and all of that. And then the victim is left to suffer all of these things alone. So that's why we chose to do that film, Code of Silence. And we tried to encourage people to break the culture of silence concerning and emphasize more with the victims and not always blame the victim, which is what is happening a lot in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How was the movie received?
We had limited release in the cinemas at the time, so it wasn't so popular, but it was received well via the online channels that we did. From the research that the NGO did, it was received quite well, and it achieved the objective that we had. I released it on DVD. It didn't do badly at all.
Okay. And there's a reason why I'm asking you this. I was invited to be part of a video for it's Nigerian Entertainment Against Rape. That's the initiative. And that kind of sprung my talk on this topic because in my final year in the university, that's 1988, I was a victim of sexual assault. And I've never really talked about it. And the reason why now is because I have a platform. And sometimes it takes longer, It's not actually sometimes, every time it does. People don't want to talk about it. You want to put it behind you and move on in life, But it's something that I think I'm at that stage now where I feel accountable for those coming behind me. It's important that people should have a voice and, female and male, but especially the females, and that they're not victims. So I did a full video talking about, rape and sexual assault and to call out those people, who are doing it, because when you're silent, you're equally culpable. Okay. So having said that, what is your take? I know you did a movie about it, but what is your take on rape and the culture in Nigeria? Do you think enough has been done? What's your, I just want to, pick your brain here. What do you think? What's, adding your voice to it? Let me just see because not everyone agrees with me. Everybody doesn't have to agree with me. That's why it's a discuss. But what's your take on it?
We have a long way to go about that in Nigeria, especially. From the little that I have seen, they always blame the women, and I wonder why. They always feel the women somehow brought it upon themselves. And I think that is so wrong because it's a very traumatic experience for anyone to go through that. Rape is something that is horrible. I would not wish it on my worst enemy. So you wouldn't blame anybody who is shocked into silence for so long, not wanting to talk about it, especially if it happens from someone that you really trust, from a close family or friend, or somebody you really had a lot of faith in, and which is almost always the case.
Yeah.
And when talk, so when you now decide to talk, everybody will wonder, so why did you keep quiet, or why are you coming? So you now begin to look like a fool. It's a horrible situation that I don't know what we're going to do to stop it, but unfortunately that's what obtained. Some of us in the movie industry have lent our voices to it by making movies, making short films, documentaries. But we changing the narrative on that we still have a long way to go. Mm-hmm. And I hope that more people will come out and at least try to be sympathetic and support victims of this kind of thing, so that it will encourage them to probably start. And of course, stricter laws should be passed for those who are responsible for this. That is my own, because if we let them go with some very little punishment, it will always happen. So that's my own take on it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you made very valid points. It's one thing, we need to create a big awareness, and also to empower women. And my big thing is that I look at this twofold, and you mentioned some parts of it. I think that women need to start encouraging women. Women need to stop hating women. Women need to stand together because there is power in numbers. And then I also believe that the culprits, the perpetrators, the perps, they need harsher sentences to a deterrent, to let them know, you can't get away with this. It's not nice. It's very inhuman, you know. I am especially peeved at women not supporting women. I have a friend of mine who's actually come on my show. She's also in the media, and she's talked about her. She was raped as a grown up. When I say grown up, a full-fledged woman, working professional. And the first person she went to was a woman and a pastor. And what the woman said or asked her was, "What were you wearing?" Do you see what I'm saying? We need to start changing that narrative. And then she's like, well, again, she's just coming from when it happened to her. She's in pants, trousers with a buttoned shirt. So when the woman saw, okay, well, she passed that, check, then it's like, what did you do? Do you see what I'm saying? So my thing is bullied women become bullies. So it's possible that, yeah, it's possible that this person, because I will tell you this, and I have, because there's a small youth empowerment thing I started here, and I'm just going around schools, because again, you get to a stage where you start to want to change things, and women need to start supporting other women. Because I tell you, when things like this happen, the first thing you're doing, you're seeking out another woman because you think you can understand. You see what I'm saying? But I guess I can tell you, and I wish other women will come forth, just like I have done, and I'm ready to talk about it in other places. Because again, it's been what? 88, that's 32 years ago. I know I'm dating myself right now, but I don't care. The thing is, when a woman is trying to be successful in life, we all have been through sexual harassment one way or the other, you know. I would want to be called to tax to this. Any woman I know is trying to make a headway, one way or the other. The men are not hearing you. They can't see beyond the challenges we go through. Men don't go through it. And that's why it's important to give back to let these young girls know that no is not, you can accept no, and there are other ways to get your stuff done without compromising yourself. So those are things that you can tell I'm very passionate about this. I am so passionate. Something else I'm going to ask you, because you're a hit maker. You just be making hits after hits after hits after hits, and you're still doing it. And I know you write scripts, but what attracts you in a script? How do you know when something is going to be a hit?
Sometimes I really don't. If something is laid on my mind for so long to talk about or to, I just have to point out. And when I do it with a lot of passion, and I sometimes when I used to write though, I'm not able to sleep until I get that script to the end. I know deep within me that this is going to hit. But for now, I hardly write anymore. Occasionally I do. So I just work on scripts that are written by people. But if I do have a story I really want to tell, I have a couple of writers that work with me. I just call one of them and I give the story to the writer. Sometimes I might edit it, sometimes I may not just touch it. I just correct one or two things and we do a second, third draft and all of that before I go on set. Sometimes you just have a gut feeling that people are gonna like the story. For me, I tell the kind of stories I want to see. And I know that so many people like me who want to see some kind of stories, and not even just the story, the way the story is being told. And assembling everything together. I'm very I pay attention to details a lot. So I am very particular about my casting. I'm very particular about my crew. particular about so many things, and I try my best within what is available for me to work with, and just try to put it together and hoping that people like it. And most often than not, they do.
Yeah, it's like I said, you've got your resume is quite impressive, and you've given out good vibes. This is the thing I like about you. A lot of people have passed through you. You have developed, you have discovered talent, you have developed talents, and you still encourage your talent. That is, it takes a very confident person to do that. You know what I mean? To let others, well, for want of a better word, shine. Do you see what I'm saying? You're content to just be that kingmaker or queen, well, kingmaker, behind the scenes person. Some people, the ego gets in the way. So, and it seems I've known you now. You're very even keel. You're very calm. What keeps you? Where's that from? Is that something you had to cultivate, or is just part of? You are a very calm person. I haven't seen you on set though, but I have talked to you, and you're very, very calm.
I think it's just who I am. Things do ruffle me quite alright, but I believe in just taking a deep breath and thinking things through, process it very well before I react. And I pray a lot. I pray about a lot of things before I take any step. But naturally, I think I'm just like that. But then on set, I'm not always calm. Sometimes, of course, I'm a firebrand, but rarely because I'm careful with the people that I work with. I tend to work with people that also have the kind of views and vision that I have, and also I also try to give room, like you say, I give room for a lot of ideas. I don't believe I know it all. Put heads with people and then try to come up with the best way to do things. So in that way, you avoid a lot of conflict, and there are ways of putting your point across without having to be too loud and very aggressive. It's just who I am naturally.
That's nice. So that brings me to new Nollywood and old Nollywood. If you're to compare, 20 years ago, 25 plus years ago, and now, I just want you to kind of juxtapose them together. Do you think we've made strides? Where do you think we need improvement? Where would you like Nollywood to be? What is your take on if there is a growth, or there is, but you want this different direction? I just want you to juxtapose the two. What's the difference? What's different about new and the old one?
I think we told better stories in the past. I don't know whether it was the novelty of the whole thing, but I think we told deeper stories and better stories before. And we're true to who we are then. We're very authentic. That's what I think the difference is. For now, everything is a bit superficial. I'm also guilty anyways right now with some of the stories I'm telling now compared to the stories I told then. I prefer my old stories that I told them to now. I don't know why, but technically, now we're better. We've grown. We've really grown technical and so many other aspects of production. People can actually make a living off of this, so people are going for further studies and getting better and getting, acquiring good skills to help the production process. But when it comes to the storytelling part of it, my opinion though, I think we did better before than now.
I keep hearing that because you're not the one who actually asked that question, but everyone tells me there were better stories back then. There were better. So what do you think happened?
I think we're getting so carried away with technology, wanting to, especially a lot of us, I don't know why we like to copy, trying to do it like Hollywood. I believe we should be true to our own thing. Yes, we should add the technical to make it better to have a wider appeal, but sometimes we get carried away by the gloss on all of that, and it's affecting even our storytelling abilities. I don't know what we can do. I think we should go back to the basics. To me, I think we should go back. Maybe retell those stories again. Maybe.
Okay, that seems to be the trend. That's what's happening. Well, it's not just only in Nigeria, it's happening everywhere, all over the world, rebooting and remaking sequels and prequels and, remake altogether. So, well, the industry is evolving, but I keep hearing the same thing though. So we need to seriously look inwards, because I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that. So that brings
So,
me to Royal Arts Academy. What is the genesis or the origin of that? Why Royal Arts Academy? Why did you set up an academy? Why and what are you intending to achieve?
I think what um, what made me to start might be my background. I come from a background of academics. My parents, my mom was in the education department, was teaching and had a school. My younger ones are all, they love school. So in as much as I was in entertainment, I felt that I should get into training. It's just something that I was compelled to do. And I also wanted a situation where people had a place to network and to meet people of like mind in the business. And I used to have so many calls from people asking, I want to join Nollywood. How do I join Nollywood? Where do I go? Where is the place to go to join Nollywood? I was tired of saying, okay, look out for auditions and all of that. So I decided to open an academy to train people and also to make that like a starting point or a springboard for the younger people to get into the business. That's why I started Royal Academy. And it's been really tough, but I am so happy you know, seeing people's lives change from there, especially those who have the passion to do what we do and having to come there and at least have one step in the business. Not necessarily that they are going to become stars like this. This is a pathway to where you want to go. So it's quite fulfilling when I see that. And so many, we have churned out so many of them that are actually practicing and making a living in this business, some behind the scenes and in front of the camera as well.
You have done great. Take a bow. You have done massively great. No, I am so proud of you. You impress. I admire you a lot. I do, because you're selfless in your giving. Again, I've talked to you. I have talked to other people in the industry, but you and I just kind of clicked because I love the giving aspect because that's how I am. I just believe that everyone runs their race. Your success doesn't stop mine doesn't stop yours, and not everyone understands that. And you just being that channel, to help people, because yes, you have this, like I keep saying, you've discovered talents. And the new ones, a lot of them have come through Royal Arts Academy and they're doing well. They have a career. You're making people's dreams come true. That it's a blessing. So thank you for that. Thank you. I'm sure there are people you've gotten off the streets. You see what I'm saying? Because again, it was so daunting. It's like, how do I get into Nollywood? Oh, you know what? Just go into this academy, at least start somewhere, have a skill, and that has made life bearable for some that probably didn't even know where to start from. Do you see what I'm saying? So that is a wonderful thing. That is a wonderful thing. So before I let you go, because she's a busy woman, this one, she's always on sets, one set or the other or something. What is your advice for the younger ones coming up, looking at you and saying, "Oh, I want to be like her. I want to do stuff like her. How do I get into Nollywood?" What is your what is your advice for those coming behind you?
I would advise them to be patient, consistent, and follow the process. Not always be in a hurry to become stars. It may come along the way. Be consistent in what you're doing. Follow the process. There's always a process. That's one thing a lot of people don't like to do. There's always the process. Sometimes it takes time, but with consistency, you'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you look for in talent? What do you look, because again, she again, look, we can list all the people that have come through her. And that's what I'm asking you. How do you know, or what do you seek for in a person? You know, when you're having people on your set, people you're going to work for. What is it you're looking for?
Um, Talent is good, but I look out a lot for passion.
Ah,
When you're passionate about your craft, I, on my own part, will support as much as I can because passion will keep you there. When there's no money, passion will keep you there, and that's what has kept me really. It's all about the passion. I like people who are willing to, you know, go the extra mile and put in the work, put in the work. You might have the talent, you might be beautiful and all of that, but that can only take you far. But if you are, I mean, some people are not even talented, but people with passion and people who are really serious about their business, they actually do better than the very talented ones. Sometimes life is like that. So for me, when I'm working, I'm trying to cast new people, I try to look out for that passion. Is that passion that will make you want to stay on the set maybe longer than usual? Is not the one that is just coming on set and telling me, oh, I have to leave by 6 o'clock and all of that. Yes, there should be time limit to the work that we're doing, but I want to see that passion to say, okay, how do we get this going? How can we finish this job? What do we do? That extra mile is what I look out for.
that's really important. You're very thorough. Like you said so yourself, because again, passion will get you really far. When you have passion, you have love for your craft, because production isn't easy. People see the finished product and they think that's what they see and they want to go into it. Oh, I've got the looks. I speak well. I can roll my eyes. That will not get you far. That will not get you far. So I tell people that production, it can be very tasking, and it would put you through a ringer. So if you don't have that passion, that's a good one. That is really a good one. You know what? It's been really nice having you. I totally appreciate it. Like I said, I'm a great admirer of yours, because I love the fact that you have given people a channel, or many channels, to come into their own. And that's a selfless act. And God bless you for that. You really have. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So I I'm so excited for the things that you're going to be doing. And well, let me just ask you that before we sign off. So what's the next thing? Where do you go from here? Something actually just came to me now, because I've had people on in the industry, and they have shown some kind of worry or concerns for distribution. That's something Nigeria is still grappling with. Do you agree? And what do you think is a solution to that for Nollywood, that industry, distribution?
I agree. It's something we're still grappling with right now, and then the policies not really helping matters. I hope and I wish that our government would make things a little bit easier, so that, I mean, like maybe tax incentives and making the business environment a bit simpler for investors to come in and thrive, because it's very capital intensive setting up a distribution outfit. And these people would, whoever brings his investment to invest here needs, to have it a little bit easy. But the atmosphere can be crazy. When we're doing DVD, it was horrible in terms of piracy. Piracy was just a killer. And now that everything is digital, the platforms that are springing up here and there, the policies are not so favorable for a lot of them. We look forward to more homegrown platforms anyways. We need that, not just always waiting for the foreign ones to come here and make it happen. We can do it ourselves, but we need the government to put down great policies to help and incentives to help the filmmakers, thrive. Entertainment is big business. I still believe that is a lot we haven't even touched yet. And now with the post-COVID, there's so much, especially with streaming, that can be done. There's a lot of talent here. We just need something, and I believe it's from the government that will come, because we need an enabling environment. We need an environment that will not stifle creativity. Some of us go wrong. That is just so people don't blame. Everyone is having the same tune. You make movies, trying to get movies distributed is huge problem, but we'll get there.
I believe so. I wanted to ask you that because I have been asked that, and I've asked other people, and then there's just this general idea now that, like you mentioned, a very good point, that we don't need international or people outside the country to come rescue us. We really are very talented people, and very resourceful. So we need to look inwards and start putting things in place. But like you said, the challenge is that the policies are not conducive. Then something has to be done. Different bodies, again, numbers. there's power in numbers. It can't be just you talking. You have to have, and I know those bodies are there. You have DGN, you have AGN, and I'm sure AMP, all those, but even more can still come in. But you need to, distribution by now really shouldn't be our problems anymore. Really, something, because that's where the money is, and that's where you want it done properly. But I guess we'll get there. Please don't run away. But that's the fear. That's a real fear. Actually, I talked about that in an interview yesterday. That is the real fear. People will eventually, like, as in other aspects or facets of professionalism in that country, there will be brain drain. People will start looking for other ways, where they can thrive, Yeah. So, yeah.
Already. People are doing other things, but what can we do? Some of us are still struggling to be in it. It's really hard, but we hope that some sort of relief will come someday soon.
I believe so. Thank you so much. I'm going to have her back. There's just so much, a wealth of information. And like I said, I admire you. Keep doing what you're doing, because it's like paying it forward. You're definitely going to get it back, And I know all these people you've helped also appreciate you. But then it's not even because of that. You're just put there by God to facilitate, to be a facilitator, and just keep doing it. I admire you, and God bless you. So thank you. And please be safe, okay? COVID is raging. You guys being on set, that's something you guys got to take care of. You got to be careful, okay?
I know. We're putting measures in place. We're trying. Well, we pray this is over soon, but we're trying. Thank you. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you, and stay blessed. My love to your family.
Thank you. Yours too. Bye.
Bye.